I'm a woman who never believed in curses until the day I inherited an antique doll from my late grandmother. The doll, a porcelain-faced figure dressed in faded Victorian attire, arrived wrapped in a layer of mystery and whispered warnings. My grandmother's letter, scrawled in her careful hand, warned that the doll was cursed and that its presence would bring both misfortune and revelation. I dismissed it at first as one of her eccentricities, a relic of a bygone era meant to evoke nostalgia rather than dread. Yet, the moment I unpacked the doll, an inexplicable chill filled my modest apartment. Its glassy eyes seemed to follow me, and in the silence of the night, I would swear I heard soft murmurs, like secret confessions drifting through the dark corridors of my mind. In those early days, my rationality clashed with the inexplicable. Every creak in the floor and every whisper in the wind felt tainted by the doll's silent presence. I began to wonder if perhaps there was more to my grandmother's warning than idle superstition. As days turned into restless nights, the doll's presence became increasingly undeniable. I noticed its position subtly shifting on the shelf, always facing the door, as if it were guarding something or someone. I tried to shrug it off, attributing the movements to my own sleep-deprived imagination. But deep inside, I felt the stirrings of an ancient secret, a tale of protection woven through generations, hidden beneath the guise of a curse. It wasn't long before I started experiencing phenomena that I couldn't explain. Late one night, as I sat alone in the living room, I heard a faint, almost inaudible whisper coming from the direction of the doll. The voice was soft and disjointed, murmuring phrases like "danger approaches" and "beware the hidden truth." At first, I assumed it was a trick of the wind or a malfunction of my old radio. However, the whispers grew louder and more insistent over the following nights. Sleep eluded me as I lay in bed, eyes fixed on the darkened figure of the doll. I began to keep a journal, noting down every unusual occurrence. The doll's slight tilt on the shelf, the soft hum of a lullaby in the dead of night, and the chilling message that seemed to echo from the porcelain lips. The eerie tone of these messages, intermingled with my own rising anxiety, painted a picture that was impossible to ignore. In the midst of these unsettling events, I encountered inexplicable coincidences. A series of small misfortunes befell me: a broken heirloom, a near miss on the busy street, and even whispers of old family scandals resurfacing among distant relatives. Each incident was preceded by a silent warning from the doll, as if it were trying to steer me away from impending danger. My skepticism began to crumble in the face of this relentless, supernatural warning system. The urban legends surrounding cursed objects came flooding back to my mind, stories of haunted mirrors, possessed trinkets, and guardians in disguise. Could it be that this doll, rumored to be cursed, was in fact trying to protect me from some unknown threat? The idea seemed absurd, yet every unexplained occurrence pushed me closer to accepting that something beyond the natural realm was at play. Determined to understand the doll's true nature, I dove into the dusty corners of my grandmother's old journals and family records. What I uncovered was a web of secrets, a history steeped in both sorrow and supernatural guardianship. My grandmother had always been an enigma, a woman of quiet strength who embraced the occult as a means of protecting our family from dark forces. Among the yellowed pages of her diary, I found sketches and notes about an ancient protective charm embodied by the very doll now sitting in my home. It turned out that the doll was not cursed in the conventional sense. Instead, it was an enchanted artifact, passed down through generations to act as a sentinel, a guardian against looming disasters and malevolent forces. The curses my family had long dreaded were, in reality, warnings. The doll's eerie behavior was its way of alerting us to hidden dangers and dark secrets that threatened our legacy. I read accounts of family members narrowly escaping calamities, each incident preceded by the subtle movements and cryptic murmurs of the doll. Armed with this new understanding, I began to notice more than just spectral warnings. The doll seemed to be guiding my actions. On several occasions, it led me to forgotten letters and obscure photographs tucked away in the attic, evidence of a secret that had been buried for decades. One particular photograph, faded with time, showed a young girl standing next to the doll, her eyes filled with a mixture of fear and hope. The realization struck me. The doll had been there long before my time, silently watching over us, ensuring that our family's hidden truths would eventually come to light. As the days passed, I felt a strange kinship with the doll. No longer was it an ominous relic of a supposed curse. It was a vigilant protector, a silent guardian warning me of imminent danger. Its movements, once a source of dread, now filled me with cautious determination. I knew that if I was to honor my grandmother's legacy, I had to heed these warnings and confront the long-ignored secrets of our past. The turning point came one stormy night when the doll's warnings reached a crescendo. I was poring over my grandmother's diaries when a violent thunderclap shook the house, and the doll toppled from its perch. In that moment of chaos, its eyes seemed to blaze with an otherworldly light, and a clear, resonant voice echoed in my mind, "Prepare, for the danger is near." Heart pounding, I followed an inexplicable impulse and raced to the basement, a place I had long avoided due to old family lore. There, hidden behind a stack of forgotten boxes, I discovered a sealed envelope addressed to me in my grandmother's familiar script. Inside were detailed accounts of a family feud that had escalated into a dangerous conspiracy, a threat that had been lurking in the shadows for years. The envelope contained warnings of a looming confrontation with a mysterious figure who had been trying to unravel our family's protective legacy for personal gain. As I pieced together the fragmented clues, the doll's role became undeniably clear. It wasn't an instrument of misfortune. It was a lifeline, a magical safeguard meant to steer me away from a disaster that had claimed too many lives before. In a final act of defiance against the darkness that had haunted our lineage, I took steps to alert those who could help me, contacting distant relatives and even law enforcement. The doll, ever watchful, remained silent as if approving my every move. In the weeks that followed, the anticipated threat materialized in a series of attempted break-ins and suspicious encounters. Each time, I recalled the doll's warnings and took precautions. Slowly, the pieces fell into place, and I realized that embracing my family's past was the key to securing our future. The eerie whispers, the unexplained movements, and the hidden secrets all converge to reveal a truth both terrifying and empowering. Sometimes, what appears to be cursed is merely misunderstood, a beacon guiding us through the darkness. Now, as I sit by the window and watch the rain trace patterns on the glass, I no longer fear the doll. Its presence is a constant reminder of the delicate balance between the seen and unseen, between horror and protection. My grandmother's legacy lives on in this enchanted guardian, and I've learned to trust its silent counsel. In the eerie stillness of the night, when the world seems too quiet, I know that I am not alone. The guardian watches over me, a steadfast protector in a world where secrets and danger often walk hand in hand.